We had Dr. Cornel West on yesterday, who I think provides a great opportunity for third-party candidates. We must continue to hold them accountable and put pressure on them, which I think we have done on RBN. But I think he provides a great opportunity for third parties. And you can also share your thoughts on RFK. But I found this story particularly interesting. This is why I bring this to your attention. And you can reply to this and your thoughts on the election as well. You have RFK, they keep doing these interviews because he's polling at around 20 or so percent. And I have, you guys know all my criticism of RFK, especially his stance on Israel-Palestine. But he has been a shock to Democrats. You have Mehdi Hassan, who RFK lives rent-free in his head. He's tweeting about him every day. Biden bros are terrified of this guy because of him challenging the Ukraine narrative, the war narrative, and challenging the COVID narrative as well. Like that's a threat to the establishment. So no matter how you feel about RFK, what they're doing in response to that is extremely shady. So he's having these interviews that are being pulled from YouTube. That now he's becoming he's more of a credible threat to Biden than Ron DeSantis is to Trump, and that's literally the facts, just based on polling. So you have the big tech YouTube that is working on behalf of the Biden administration by helping with the media blackout on him by removing his interviews on YouTube, which is why I think this is important to speak out on, no matter how you feel about RFK. Like, this is crazy censorship. So you guys, this is the last question. I want you guys to respond to this, the YouTube pulling, and this is RFK. I guess I'll read it to you real quick. RFK says, YouTube just pulled another one of my videos with former New York Post political reporter Al Gart. People made a big deal about Russia supposedly manipulating internet information to influence a presidential election. Shouldn't we be worried about giant tech corporations doing the same? Which is like, this is exactly what they accuse Russia of doing. Russiagate, getting involved in elections. But Garland, Lee, you guys have any response to this and your general thoughts on how Democrats are handling RFK in general?
Yeah, I got a few things. One is there's certain things that RFK has said that I think are really important, and I've been highlighting them on my live streams every week or every once in a while. And I think that's great. It blows up a lot of the narrative of the Democratic Party. So many things. I highlighted one the other day, just him bringing up the harm of big ag, which is almost never talked about, and the way they control our food supply and destroy lives and destroy the environment. And so there's so many important things. Then, like you said, there's plenty to be critical as well. He says he'll take any money from anywhere, including billionaires. He's really put out some really full-throated defense of the CIA as a whole, which that's problematic in so many ways. So, yeah, there's a lot of problems there, as well as important things. And in terms of the censorship, they're not just going after his videos. They're demonetizing and taking down or giving strikes against whole channels who just have him on or highlight some of his videos. Yeah, it is an aggressive attack that everyone should be upset with, whether you love everything he says or not. But I just think, it is a bit of a fool's errand to try and be revolutionary in an anti-revolutionary party. So to run within the Democratic Party or the Republican Party is, maybe a fool's errand. I also can't stand the idea that we have to talk about the presidential election for 2 goddamn years. When you and I have talked about how fucking unimportant the president is in many ways and how much these two parties agree on everything, 80% of the core issues of this country, and we're acting like they're completely different. I mean, not you and I, but America's acting like they're completely different things when they're identical on so much of our world and so many of the issues. And so that's why I've decided I'm going to be actually a campaign manager for a grayish brown rock I found in my front yard that I'm running for president that is just so much better on all the issues. I mean, he's never committed a war crime, not in bed with any big oil, big banks, none of it, never been accused of sexual assault. I mean, this rock is just fucking incredible if you really compare him to the two main parties. And anybody can check it out. It's at yardrock2024.com. I think he would win a debate against any of these guys.
I do too. I believe that.
Yeah. So yardrock2024.com.
Base.
Right on.
Garland, your thoughts?
The thing about it is this. what it reeks of is desperation. I mean, let's face it, when your candidate, needs a service dog to find his way off the stage after pretty much every speech that he gives, really got to protect this guy. So the reality is that what they're showing is desperation. They don't know what to do. They cannot allow alternative perspectives to be heard. The things that RFK Jr. is saying, look, there's no perfect candidates. He's saying some things that are fantastic. He's saying some things that I might not like. I believe it's very good that he's running in the Democratic Party. Now, I don't think for 1 second the Democratic Party is going to allow him to win. They're so crooked. They've already said in a lawsuit that they can go in a smoke-filled room and choose the candidate. And if he wins, they will. But I'm glad to have that conversation to force them into that desperate corner and to do anything they can and to make it obvious to everyone what they're doing. They're going to have to stop everything. But the reality is this. I can't see any way that Joe Biden is going to be the candidate in 2024. At the rate of decline cognitively that we're seeing in him, there ain't no way this guy lasts another 2 years. Look at where he was from when he first got elected, which wasn't all that great, to where he is now when God save the Queen. That's not a stutter. You can't stutter out God save the Queen and you can't defend it. So now that they actually have to run polls and talk about him on MSNBC and CNN, that there's a poll of people who think he's mentally fit, to me, that tells us they know they're in trouble. They're starting that conversation so they can start to say, well, people are questioning him. Now we're questioning him. Oh, I guess we got to do something about it. Where's Gavin Newsom again? Somebody call Gavin Newsom to get that guy in here. And then, the good thing is,
I keep hearing his name. Go ahead, girl. I do keep hearing his name.
So the good thing is, whoever it is, anybody that runs has to go along with the neoliberal war, capitalist warmongering. And RFK Jr., Cornel West, et cetera, are there to raise the kind of questions that will expose them. And I think that's a good thing.